call it Canva 101. It takes you through all the basics, and then I introduce all the advanced features, because for so long I didn't even know what all you could do with Canva. And so that's where the challenge became for me, is it was growing so fast, I needed to keep people updated.
Using Canva for probably the last 10 years, a lot of things changed in terms of cloud-based applications.
Right.
The changes they make are frequent, and it enhances the platform tremendously, and it's user-friendly.
Now, I will tell you guys just a little secret tip. You guys, the free version, you can do a lot with that.
Canva seems to be doing this like a huge umbrella over your business, right? All about Canva. Canva, what's all the hype?
What's all the hype? You're gonna need it. You're gonna need it. Hop in there, start learning it.
All right, everybody. Welcome in, welcome in. Come on, get settled. We're talking Canva this morning. Canva, what's all the hype?
I just got a notification. I see us. Yay.
All right. You know what? I teach this stuff, how to go from Zoom into Facebook and the live streaming service. And so it's 4 minutes after the hour, and we started maybe 2 minutes before the hour. So I'll give you a little tip. Aside from Canva, if you are live streaming from Zoom into Facebook and you think you're going to go in early and set it all up, well, you have to go live. If you just keep all your settings right there on the screen, the computer says, we need you to log out and come back in again. So it's always the thing. They
all
tell
those
you,
little
unplug
technology
it,
lessons.
Unplug it, plug it back in, or turn it off, turn it back on. So this definitely shows us that we're live. Hi, everyone. I'm Betsy Sabatini, and I am the host for today's Member Spotlight here inside the Tech Playground. And I am honored and privileged to introduce today's guest and Spotlight member, Tami Sims. Good morning, Tami.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for agreeing to be our speaker this morning, all about Canva, because
Absolutely.
If you're out there, and we want to know in the comments, so as you join us, or if you're watching back on the replay, give us a little hashtag replay so we know that you found us after this video had already gone live. And of course, it'll only be in the group for 30 days. That's a new Facebook rule. So I am recording here inside Zoom as well. So we'll have replays in here for 30 days. And you can tell us now in the comments, are you using Canva? Say, we want to know, are you using a free version or a paid version? That's where we'll start with some of the information about you, but we're going to turn first to learn a little bit about Tami. I'll tell you, I met Tami 2 years ago when I was teaching a class on how to use technology in the classroom for real estate educators. And I was invited to Boise, Idaho, and I was teaching all about how to engage people how to be an engaging instructor, how to ask questions, use tools that assess where they're at, what they want to know. And one of the tools also in that class at the time was Canva. Actually, I'm thinking now whether it was Tami who pulled me over, one of the students in the room, and she goes, I'm a Canva expert, and I've always wanted to learn Zoom so that I could teach my classes throughout the state and not drive there in person. And I said immediately, we are going to work together. I know this for sure. So thanks so much, Tami. What would you add to that? Could you tell us what you do in Idaho? And I believe you're the one that told me it is Boise, not Boise.
Yes, not Boise. No Z in Boise.
No. And no Z in Boise.
I probably corrected you on that too, Betsy. I'm known to do that.
You did. I've been practicing ever since 2 years. So tell us how you got to be a Canva expert, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I am a real estate agent in Boise. That's my real job. Canva was something I started using, probably about 5 years ago now. And I found that the more I used it and started sharing stuff, everywhere I went, people were commenting on my posts or asking me questions about something. And it was mostly just, I was using it for social media at the time. And I started helping people, or I'd get phone calls about questions, and I just over time, I think probably over a year's time, I started with a little 2 hour intro class and then it developed and I ended up with a 4 hour workshop. It takes you from the beginners to, I call it Canva 101. It takes you through all the basics and then I introduce all the advanced features because for so long I didn't even know what all you could do with Canva. So that became pretty popular and I'm pretty involved in other organizations. Involved in Women's Council of Realtors, which is a national organization, and the Residential Real Estate Council, another national organization. And I just started getting noticed and invited to speak at their meetings or, hey, can you hold a Zoom class? And I was like, I'm scared of that. So I was having to charge enough to cover costs of flying. And so that's about the time I met you. I think I had just taught in Texas or California, one of them, and had a lot of people asking me if I would do a follow up and do a Zoom class. And I was like, oh, I'm scared to get online and try to manage that piece and manage the Canva. And what if I don't have good internet? I was just like, oh, that scares me to death.
Mhm.
That's when I met you, and you're like, well, why don't I come help you? I can sponsor your first class and let's do one together.
Exactly. I love it. That's exactly. I knew it immediately. You said I want to know how to do what I do in person, but I want to use Zoom so that I can get to more people and actually they don't have to travel to get to me. I don't have to travel to get to them. And I knew immediately. And then you also were giving me these gems about how to integrate Canva with some of the tools like Mentimeter and Poll Everywhere that we were learning that day. So yeah, I knew instantly. And that is the case. We have been working together ever since then, whether it's me
Oh,
teaching
it's,
you how to use Kajabi to
yeah,
set up your Canva video on demand courses, or you teaching me how to present with Canva instead of PowerPoint,
yeah.
and all the great tips and tools in there. So yeah, what
I
a
joke that on my tombstone they're gonna have a tagline that says, "Did you know you can do that in Canva?" Because people all the time, somebody says something, I'm going, "Hey, you can do that in Canva."
Yeah, it's so true. Like you say, I always say to people, my phrase is, which you should never say, "Do you see my screen?" Which is that Zoom phrase, which you hear a lot, or "You're muted."
Yep.
Unmute yourself. So, well, great. I know we have a lot to dive into today. This is going to be a fun hour. We're going to keep it to an hour, so we have about 45 more minutes together. And I wanted you also to tell us, as I'm going to go through the comments just to see people, please let us know if you're with us today. If you're using Canva already, say yes, using Canva, or no, I'm a newbie. We'd love to know that too.
Want to know what the hype is?
Right. I'm here to know what the hype is because Tammy's going to tell us a little bit about their recent conference that you attended in California. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm super excited to actually be there in person this year. Every year, and so let's go back in time. Canva started out in 2013. Okay, so it was developed in Australia, and so it's been around now 12 years. And probably about 5 years ago, I think 4 years ago, they started having annual conferences, and it's called Canva Create. And then they have some little additional tagline. And this year it was Canva Create Uncharted. And it's in London or in LA. And so unfortunately, I didn't get to go to London last year, but maybe next year, who knows? But this year I had a chance to go. And a friend of mine, Melissa from Palm Springs, she and I flew into LA, stayed the night, went to the conference, and it was phenomenal. First of all, the hype, and that's what made me think about that name we chose today. What's the hype about? Because I've been to a lot of conferences, Betsy, and this one, the enthusiasm when you walked up, there were people just lined up along the sidewalk not before we even got to the sign-in table, and everybody's smiling and dancing and welcome. It was like Disneyland. It really was. It was crazy. Melissa looked at me and goes, "This is one of the most enthusiastic entries to a conference I've ever been to." And then you walk in, and there's this giant ball pit with yellow ducks in it, and there's little photo ops all over with different Canva prompts, and the label on the ball pit was dive into data, and they were advertising their new sheets, data sheets. And there was actual teeter totters, bright orange teeter totters, and there's coffee and donuts set out with these cute little labels made in Canva, right? And just everywhere you looked, it was just like, where do I look? What do I do? And people everywhere, and they're giving us little Canva swag, and we were at the SoFi Stadium, which is humongous. That's where the Olympics is going to be. It's beautiful, just a gorgeous convention site. We were inside the YouTube theater, which is a huge, real high-tech theater. I mean, there was light shining. We all got wristbands that
Cool.
lit up and changed colors throughout the program. Very high tech. It was phenomenal.
Cool.
Tons of different vendors there, such as all the apps that we use within Canva. There was a lot of people there representing those apps and answering questions. A lot of it was focused around the new releases. So every year at their conference, they release things. Now, the challenge with that is the platform changes. So people that are using Canva right now, if you haven't noticed already, you will very shortly. Your sign-in is going to change, and a lot of the tools you use are going to be in different places. And so that's where the challenge became for me is it was growing so fast, I needed to keep people updated. And so I ended up, starting to do little Zoom classes for updates and an online course that people could buy. And the conference was phenomenal. What they did this year was they answered wishes. So they would show little blurbs about users saying, I wish we could do this, or I wish we could do that. And they would answer that. So they answered 60 wishes. And they also rolled out 5 major changes in the platform, additions in the platform. Now, I will tell you guys just a little secret tip is from your home page, and I'm going to share my screen here in a bit, but there's a little gift box in the top right-hand corner of your home screen now. And if you click on that, there's some little videos and intros into the new releases. So that's where you need to go because people are going, I don't know how to use this. There's some great little training pieces in there. So
Yeah, I have to say, just from my point of view, teaching technology applications for decades. I mean, Microsoft Office. I mean, before Microsoft Office, like I could date myself, but using Canva for probably the last 10 years. I want to say I used it for quite a bit of time before 2020, when I could say a lot of things changed in terms of cloud-based applications.
right.
The changes they make are frequent and it enhances the platform tremendously and it's user friendly. So you and I were just commiserating behind the scenes about when applications change and it can be frustrating. So
Yeah.
also tell us that in the comments about, are you struggling to find something in Canva because you were using it before? So we have Melissa here, Capilleri.
Hi. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah, she's in the
Melissa.
comments. And so she's using the paid version and loves Canva. So why don't you take us through just some of the features that you found that are either the basics or that change that you learned at the conference? Take us on a little tour.
Yeah. Do you want me to share my screen now?
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
So the one thing I would say right off the bat is let's talk just a little bit about the free and the paid version. You guys, the free version, you can do a lot with that. I mean, there's not I would say if you're just starting out, use the free version. And when you start finding that there's things you want to do that you can't do, that's when it's time to go to the paid version. The biggest out of the park feature that you have to have the paid version for that I believe you will want is the brand kit because it allows you to set up all of your logos and your photos and your colors and your theme, your business theme, multiple business themes all in one place, and you can apply those to a design with the click of a button. So it saves you tons of time and ensures your consistency through your marketing. But until then, there's a lot of little tips and tricks you can learn to use the same colors and to where to store your logos in a folder and have access to them. So that's the big one. You guys, I don't work for Canva. I don't make a dime from them. I do get paid sometimes for my classes from people, but not from Canva. So I'm not trying to push you into purchasing it. But the thing I love the most about Canva is that I can do everything pretty much in one platform. Now I use it for all my video recording. I no longer need CapCut. I use all my presentations, so I don't have to learn PowerPoints, updates, and I struggle using PowerPoint now. I can't even remember how to change colors on things because I can do it all in Canva. I can make t-shirts, I can make coffee cups, tote bags, I can do my mention presentations, videos. There's just so much you can do in here. And you learn the same tasks, you use the same skills to do everything. So you don't, I don't have to download a PDF and go to Vistaprint and upload that to create something, right? So when you start learning it and you realize how much you can do with it, that's when you'll start growing and really want to learn to use the brand kit and all the advanced features, websites, landing pages. You can do all that. One of the things I remember mentioning to Betsy at that very first meeting was you can embed a Google form right into a website. So I could create a Google form, create what's called a Canva website, make that live, and people could go to that link I send them and fill out that Google form just like that. So just kind of that all-encompassing, I kind of think of it as the cell phone of the future, right? When we got cell phones, I mean, most of the people I know remember getting their first cell phone and wondering, what the heck do I need to carry a phone around with me for, right? So Canva's going to be that. You're gonna have to have something like it in the future. There might be competitors. There's starting to be competitors come out, but as that happens, you're going to need one of these programs and be comfortable with it to some extent. So I say, what's all the hype? You're going to need it. You're going to need it. Hop in there, start learning it. It's a beast if you try to take it all on at once. But if you take it in little steps, I tell people all the time, just go in once a day and create a Facebook post or make changes to the Facebook post you created yesterday. Just get comfortable with being in the platform. Click on things, you're not going to hurt anything. Everything's saved automatically as you go. And just get in there and start getting comfortable with the platform. All right, let's talk about this homepage. This is the homepage that I mentioned. This is the new version, and it used to be you had a button over here on the left that said create a design. And so I always train people, the first step is to click the create a design button. So it's different now. Now it's just to create. The Canva button is your homepage. That will take you to this page. When you open up your account, you're probably going to be at a preview page, and you're going to click on that word Canva to come to this page. On the right is that little gift box I mentioned. That gift box is going to take you right into some little short intro videos. Doesn't really teach you well how to do it, but it does teach you what some of the new features are and gives you a little practice session to do. Along the left-hand side is what I want to talk about first. This is an important change, and clear down at the bottom, you'll see the TL, that's for my initials, and my picture. This is really your home menu bar, and at the very bottom is my settings button, and that used to be up in the top right, so that's moved, and it's really important because this is where you're going to get into all your settings. This is where you can change your password, and you can look at your billing, and you can see when your account's going to renew, or what type of account if you don't know. And then along that menu bar there is the home button. Anywhere that you're at, it'll take you back to this screen. Your projects, this is where you can find all your projects that you've worked on if you want to open one up or make copies. The recent ones are going to be listed down the middle of that screen. Templates is what Canva's all about. You don't start from scratch. You never, ever, ever start a design from a white piece of paper. You're gonna start with a template and then make changes. And I'm gonna show you how to do that here in a minute. Brand, that's where you're gonna create your brand kits. Now you can see there's a little crown right there on the top right hand corner of that. That tells you it's a pro feature, and you have to have the paid version in order to use the brand kits. And then Canva AI. This is one of Canva's big rollouts. It's a little bit different. We used to have something called Dream Lab. Well, now it's Canva AI. And if you look right here in the middle of the screen, what will you design today? You'll see Canva AI right there, a little button with the new tag on it. So this feature allows you to do a couple things. I'm actually going to click on it because it looks like, I'm just looking at the comments here, it looks like a lot of the people that are in the room have the pro version. This Canva AI button, when I click on that, it's going to open up some additional options. So I can say design for me. Now this is kind of like that Dream Lab where I could just tell this, I could come in like think Chat GPT, and I could say a Facebook post about, I'm just making something up as I go, about selling real estate in Boise, Idaho. And I could say, use this photo. I'm going to see if I got something I can pull in. I can upload an image. Here, I'll just put my picture on it. Upload. So you can upload all kinds of different information. Let's see. Oh, let's just put a heart on it. We'll just do that. Just something. I got my image. Okay. Use the attached image. I don't know what we're going to come up with, you guys. This was kind of off the hook here. And I'm just going to hit enter. So you're going to use a prompt just like you would with ChatGPT. Tell it what you want it to create, what you want it about. This is very small, so I don't know what we'll get. But you click on that. It's going to go out and create a design for you. Rather than starting with a template, it's going to create something. And you'll be able to now take that and start editing it just like a template within Canva. It's going to give you, typically it gives you 3 or 4 designs to choose from, and then you can start customizing it.
I'm curious, Tami, can you ask it to generate? You don't have to do it for us now, but can you ask it to generate an image for you without giving it anything?
You can. Yeah, you could actually start with creating an image and then take that into a design. Yeah, it can be anything. So you see, it gives me something kind of cute here, something to start with. And then, but it's not probably what I want, but I'm just going to start going in and just editing it like any other template. And right here, there's a pencil on the bottom as I hover over it, and I can select which one I want and start editing it. Just at the click of a button, I'm going to go into a design and start editing it. I can apply my brand colors and my logos. But what's really cool is here down here, I can say, add modern colors, Boise skyline, add more, create more designs. I can just keep going like a chat in ChatGPT. I can just keep going with this. So that's the design for me tab. Here's the create an image. So this is kind of that Dreamlab. And you can see here's all my Dreamlab images. So if you've used Dreamlab before, your image is going to be there. These are ones I created using Dreamlab. And I would go in and tell it to create something during the holidays. I was looking for something fun, it was National Cookie Day. I went in and told it to create a Facebook post for National Cookie Day. Just in a second, I can have something that I can then go and throw my logo on and be done, right? So these are images that I created. I like these down here. I did for Melissa in Palm Springs. I was showing her how to do this, and she does a lot of mid-century modern homes. And so I went in and started using some retro mid-century modern language, and this is what it gave me. I just love those. So that's a creative design. Now I could take that, I can open this design up, I could remove that lady, and I could put me standing there. Okay, so that's the magic of Canva. In just minutes, I could tell it what I want, open it up, edit it, and create something personalized for me. All right, so that's the create an image that you're asking about. And then this third button, when I'm in Canva AI, is drafted doc. So this is where I could just type in text, or I can even record. So I can just tell it what I want, and it's going to create a document for me. And this is the big new feature that I have not played with much, but I'm going to show it to you, is Code for Me. This is Canva writing code for you. So I could go in here when I clicked Code for Me, and now I get new buttons, right? I could create a biology quiz, interactive certificate, build a grocery list. Down here's some extra examples. The other day, I created a flashcard game using real estate terminology, and I gave it some words and it added more, and it just goes out and creates the code to build this game, interactive game. You can copy that code and use it, if you wanted to put that game in your website. I don't know all that stuff. I'm not a coder, but it's very cool. It's amazing how it's slow. I'm not going to do one because it takes a while. It probably takes about 5 minutes for it to do it. And you can just keep building that too. You keep refining it, add this or whatever, just like we did on that design program. So that's brand new in Canva. Very, very cool. I see a lot of people talking about this on some of the Canva websites.
I love that. That's especially good for people who don't have a website already.
Yep.
And we always say this too, don't we? That if you look within your current application for the features that you could use rather than buying something else, subscribing to something else and adding it on. So Canva seems to be doing this like a huge umbrella over your business, right? and
Yeah.
allowing you to have all these different features to
Yeah.
run.
And I teach that in my class, Betsy. I talk about those 3 steps to Canva. You know, if you can figure out how to create a design, because Canva's so intuitive, you tell it what you want, and it's going to give you the size of a canvas to work on, and it's going to give you templates to choose from to get started. So that's that first step. And then the second step is you got to learn how to work with all these pieces. It's kind of like creating a scrapbook. In the olden days, we'd get magazines and we'd cut out letters and words and pieces and we'd just layer them all on top of a poster board, right? That's what we're doing. So you've got to know how to edit those text boxes and those animated stickers and photos and all that kind of stuff, right? And Canva has an amazing photo editor. So it's all those little pieces. And then the third step is, how do I launch it? How do I get it out of Canva, either as an image or a PDF, or maybe I publish it as a website, or I present from it as a presentation? Because if you can master those 3 steps, it doesn't matter if I'm creating a t-shirt or a tote bag or a website. I just created a website a couple days ago, a very detailed multiple page website in Canva. I could create a presentation, a Facebook post, all those things I can do. It's all the same features. It's all the same skills. There's a few little nuances for each different item that you're creating, but I don't have to go out and learn, like you said, Betsy, another, program or another platform. I can do so much with Canva. I do all my photo editing in Canva now. I mean, I can record right from this screen. I could record myself walking through a training program. And that's how I do all my training videos, right from Canva.
Let me ask a quick question. And
Yeah.
Melissa had this in the comments. She wanted to know for the version you're using, the $120 a year around there, pro version. She says she's not able to see. She still has Dreamlab, and she doesn't see
Okay.
the little gift box.
Oh, you don't have the gift box at all. Okay. Even when you hit your home key.
So let's see. I was trying to see if I had my other account that I hadn't clicked on the banner yet,
Yeah.
in order to demonstrate that.
Well, I was with somebody the other day that had the old version, still had the banner, but she had the gift box up there. So I thought that was on everybody. So you will probably soon, Melissa, and you're on a paid version, I believe you said.
Yeah, she's
I think they're slowly rolling it out. So what they did last year, it took a couple months, I think, for everybody to get it. But the US got everything pretty quick, and I'm already hearing from people that they got it. The gal I was just with that didn't have it, she tried clicking on the envelopes and was told it was too late. She didn't get the early rollout. There was a little shortcut that we were told about at the conference, and it said, sorry, you're gonna have to wait. And the next day she called me and said, I got it. I woke up this morning and it had changed. So it's rolling out. I don't think there's any way. They gave it to a million people the day of the conference, and then now they're just slowly rolling it out. But I think it's rolling out pretty quickly. A lot of the features you'll find in there, I saw some of these things live before I ever even got the new rollout. So look for these items, even though you might have the old version. The biggest change is your homepage. When you open up Canva, you're in a preview page, and you literally have to click the word Canva to get to your homepage, which is quite different. And then you also have your settings bar down here on the left. So I want to pop in there and show you guys something, since we're talking about the free and pro. When you go into that, here's all your settings, help and resources. You can go over here to plans and pricing, and this is really going to be a deep dive into what you get and don't get with the different plans. Okay. So if I scroll down, right here's the different types of plans. I do not like to promote the teams. It's challenging. And when you leave, if your designs are stuck in a team, I encourage you to have your own account, and you can share designs within different accounts. But I know a lot of people that use it. It's just challenging. If you ever want your own designs, they're stuck with that administrator. You can't even disconnect yourself. The administrator has to do that. So just be cautious about that. But these are the 2 most common: Canva Pro and the free. And as we scroll down, you can get a 30-day trial if you're unsure. You can just compare the differences here. And then I encourage you to go all the way down here. This is where all the real features are. Hit that compare features, and this is going to break down exactly what you get. How many, look, 141 million stock photos, graphics, and videos in the pro version versus 4 million, right? So the variety is huge. A lot of the big things are the AI featured things like bulk design. That's really super popular. You can create multiple designs from one. You don't get that with the free version. As we scroll down to the AI powered tools, you'll see you can use Canva AI 50 credits. So it's probably 50 designs, 150 per month with the Pro. 20 credits for Dreamlab, 500 for the Pro. So just play in here and look. You'll see that it's extremely different going from the free to the Pro. A lot of the editing, this is the editing tools, and you don't get a lot of those within the free version. You can translate your designs to over 100 different languages within Canva. It's amazing, and you don't get that with the free version. So that is my push on why I think you'll want Pro once you start using it.
Yeah, I would say I think I used the free version for a couple of years and I did fine. Except when I mean that was before we could create video. So that I don't even believe video was in there. It was before even music got added. But it
Yeah.
started to appear to me that when I picked a template, that maybe you could bring up a template for
Yeah.
us so that we could
Let's
see the
start a
little
design and
crown.
then we'll talk
Yeah,
about
because
those things.
I also tell people this who have free accounts, check it out before you start designing, because if it has those little crowns in it, you're
Yeah.
going to be paying for those elements on the way out. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll charge you, or it'll watermark it to where you can't use it if you use the wrong one. So let's just start a design. Let's start from the create button. That's my favorite way to create a design. Lots of different ways you can start, but this is my preferred method, is say, I want to create a design and then tell it what you want. Okay, so we're just going to create a Facebook post. You guys, this is where you got to really be specific. If you want to create a t-shirt, tell it t-shirt. It's going to give you the size you need and the templates to start with, right? If you want to create a Zoom virtual background, tell it that. It's usually there. If it's not, you can do a custom size over here on the left, down towards the bottom. You can do a custom size. So if you want to create a 2" by 2" sticker, tell it you want a 2" by 2" design. So you want to be very specific. If you want a Google form header, type in Google and hit enter, and it's going to bring up a couple different options. And there's a Google, I think it says school header, but that's the one that's the Google form. So you'll find most things are in here that you want to start with. We're just going to do Facebook, and you see I get a bunch of different options down here. I'm just going to do the Facebook post square to start with today, and it's going to open us up in a canvas. Here we are ready in our design screen. Just a blank piece of paper. The very first thing I typically do is come up here and name it. Just click on that little box at the top of the screen and type something in there so that if you get kicked out of this, it's named and you know you can find it. And then the next step is always use a template. That's what Betsy was talking about. Because I'm in a Facebook post square, when I go over here to the design tab, hover over it, it's going to open up with all these templates that I can start using. Now, these are very basic because it doesn't know what type of Facebook post I want. But maybe I'm going to have an event and I just type in event and hit enter. And now I'm going to have templates that are structured for an event and give me the features and the elements that I need to edit, right? So I just scroll through here until I find something I like. Now, what Betsy mentioned was the crown in the corner means it's a pro feature only. So it's got elements in it that you can't use if you've got the free version. And you can see I've got a few here that this is a pretty nice one for a free. All I've got to do is click on it once and it applies every element on that page to my design for me. And now all I have to do is know how to change those, how to edit this word and this word and this word. All of these are elements. All those purple squares as I hover my mouse over this page are elements that I can change. I can change the pictures. I can change this little stick pin if I want something different. This is the big piece in Canva, is learning how to edit and customize this page. Now with a brand kit, I can come over here to brand. If I have a brand kit, I have multiple brand kits, so I can choose if I choose my real estate brand kit, I'm going to open that up. And now I can quickly just change the colors on this page by clicking through my branded colors. That's how fast you can customize design for you with your brand kit. I can come up here and just click on these and delete those. Go back to my brand kit, add my logo. You can't do that with, I've got to go to position. This is hiding. You cannot do that with your free version. If I can get this guy to move, once in a while, something gets hidden over here, and so this is layered behind. I'm just going to move it up. I'm going to drag it up to the front. It's layered behind those words, and so it wasn't wanting me to pick on it. That's a little tip that's really, boy, that is
Yeah,
hidden.
show us again how you went to layers. Just show us
Yeah,
again how you
so
went to
just
layers.
pick any element on the page and go to position, and
Mhm.
then you go to layers, and that didn't move. So I'm dragging that logo on top. Remember how I was talking about we cut out pictures and words out of a magazine and we layer them on top of each other? Well, when I put this there, it was behind those letters. So in order to pick that element, I had to get it selected. So I went into the positioning, go to layers, and that shows you everything that's on this page, kind of like a hamburger bun. It's layered, right? The website, that word is my top bun, and then all these things are layered inside that hamburger bun. All these pictures, all that pin, every little element on this page, and then the blue is my bottom bun. So everything's layered in between it. So I can just move things around so that I can grab them, or they look different. So right now, because that's on top of the words, if that's there, it's going to block the words. Okay. But if I want that behind the words, I can go to position, layers, and I could just move that down, back down behind the monthly meeting. And now it's behind the words. So it's that layering piece when you're putting these all together. Same thing with these photos here. These three photos are layered. This one's on the top, this is in the middle, and this one's behind. I could change those around. I could just drag this one on top and it's going to block part of these. So just layering pieces on here. I'm going to delete that just because it's kind of bothering me. So once you create a design, now you're just customizing, you're making it your own. I tell people don't ever start with a plain piece of paper. Find a template that you like and just start creating. This could be totally different. This could be for an open house. It could be for a Zoom class. It could be for whatever I want it to be, because all I've got to do now is click on these and start changing them to be whatever I want, right? So you're just choosing it for the elements that are in there, not necessarily for what it actually says. That's the same thing with a t-shirt or a presentation or a video or anything else. Find a template you like and start there. And it's going to take you just minutes versus hours.
I also love what you're getting me to think of is how you can add a page to this. And like, let's say I like this look, using the same look and feel for your posts that have to do with maybe your events. That's part of your brand, when
Right.
people see the font, right? And they see the font color. So maybe you just want to switch up those pictures. And what I love about this is how you can duplicate this as a page. And then I just have one of these designs with all my different Facebook posts. So
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of the new features too. Great lead into that, Betsy. I don't know if you were planning on that, but that was a great slide in there. So yeah, so if this, say this was I'm going to use real estate because that's what I do. This is just listed. This house was just listed. Let me get rid of that. Okay, so I get this all done. I've got the address, I've got the pictures of the house. It's all pretty. It's got my logo and all that on it, right? So I can now, maybe I'm listing this tomorrow and I'm doing my social media, right? I'm getting ready to advertise this. So now I can just come into this page and make a copy of it. I can literally just copy pieces of it. Like I just drag over that whole thing. I can come over here and add a page and paste that right to it. And now this could be just sold or pending, right? And then I could do the same thing. I could come over here again, paste it again, and all I'm doing is copy and pasting, right? And I could just change this to sold. And now I've got my 3 different designs created that fast, and I can download these as individual images, have them on my phone, have them in my Dropbox, or just download them from my phone in the Canva app to put on Facebook when it goes pending or when it's sold. They're right there. But the new feature, we've always been able to do that, is this little down or up arrow. This is brand new, you guys. It used to be, if I wanted a Facebook page or a Facebook post, I would create this. Then I would go out and create a new design for maybe I'm going to send out postcards about this property. I would go out and create a postcard, or I would go up here to Magic Resize if I have the paid version, and I could come over here and tell it to make this into a postcard, and it would copy this whole design and open up a new design. I don't have to do that anymore. I can have multiple things in this one design. So think of this more like a project folder now. So I can come over here and I can hit that up arrow and I could add a video slide to this. I could add a website, or I can go to more. So I can tell it I want a postcard what size postcard I want, different options. Let's just do a postcard landscape. Now I'm in a postcard. When I come over here to my templates, I'm going to have postcard templates. So I could literally apply this as my second page to my postcard, and then I could duplicate this page so that I have that postcard size. Click out there. I'm just going to delete everything, or actually I could just apply a new template to the top of it. But I'm going to find a template I like. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to go to my brand. I would go down and pull a photo in from my brand kit. So I've got all my photos that I use on a regular basis, right? I would pull that in there. I would start changing this. Maybe I would come over here and copy this information. If I have the address and all that, and post it on, just paste it on here. And now I've got 3 social media posts and a postcard in here ready to go, right from one design. Now I could go in here and I could do my video for maybe I'm going to do a video for my Facebook post, or maybe I'm going to do a presentation. Whatever you're going to do in here can all be in this one. And I can name this 123 Main Street, or whatever the address of the house is. And I have a package now for my listing. And all these elements I can just literally come and copy. If I have my logo here, I could click on it, copy it, go over here, paste it to all 3 pages. You just have a great little space to duplicate, add, and it's amazing. The other thing you can do is down here at the bottom, and a lot of people don't know about this grid view. Right now we're in template view. So we're seeing thumbnail. We're seeing the slide that we're on and thumbnails of all the others. If I go to that grid view, that's going to open up all my slides in a view that I can see easily. This is where it helps to be here when you're wanting to print, because you've got to remember, if I hit print and print all these, or I download all these, it's going to download everything on this page. So if I'm going to print postcards, I just want to print page 4 and 5. If I want to download these, I want to download page 1, then I want to download page 2, and I want to download page 3 as individual elements, right? Or individual files. Otherwise, I will have all 5 of these in one. So when you take that, and that's that third step, right? When I take that third step of how do I get it on my computer, I hit that share button, I hit download, and then right here you can see what pages do I want. Well, if I'm downloading page 1, I'm just gonna turn off all pages and select the page I want. So I'm going to download page 1 as a PNG, most likely, or JPEG, either one, as an image, and I'd hit download, and then it would save it on my computer. Okay. If I'm doing the postcard, automatically when I select postcard, it gives me the option of printing with Canva. So I can print with Canva, and it's going to give me a preview of what those postcards look like. I can change which one's the front and the back just by switching those. So if I made this the front, not that it matters as long as one's the front, one's the back, but I can choose those, right? I can choose if I want small or large postcards, and then it's going to tell different papers. I always just take what it recommends. It always has seemed good, but you can have square corners or rounded corners. I like the rounded corners because they're not so sharp. 100 postcards would cost me $42. I literally could design these in a matter of moments, print postcards for 100 for $42, turn off the envelopes because I typically don't want those. 200 postcards would cost me $66. No shipping. They print for free shipping, and they have a happiness guarantee. If you're not completely happy, you go into your account, you go to your printed items, and you select on that and tell them what you didn't like, and they will give you credit for your next print. I've never had them question that. And you hit continue, it's automatically going to charge your credit card on file and ship it to your mailing address that you have on file in your settings, unless you change it there. So if Betsy wanted me to print her postcards, I could literally sit here with her and enter her credit card and her address and ship these directly to her. I do gifts for clients a lot. I'll order somebody a cute little coffee cup with a saying on it, maybe something that we share in common. Like I could make one for Betsy that says, "Can you see my screen?" Or "You're muted," and she could hold it up in her class. And I could have it shipped directly to her. So amazing, amazing options. And this is one of the new features that I think probably one of the new features I will use the most is being able to have multiple projects in or multiple designs in one project.
Yeah, that's terrific. Because I know I was helping someone with a Facebook post for an event coming up, and so guided her in here and made the Facebook post with all the details, the pictures, the colors, all of that. And then they wanted the graphic for Eventbrite, but Eventbrite needed it more in a rectangular, definitely in a certain custom size. And so again, I see Melissa has commented here in the comments. Yeah, we have used that resize, right?
Yep.
Resize, and then you can copy it. But what it was doing, it was giving me the new size, but none of the elements were reconfigured, and
Yeah.
which would take some time, but we were able to manipulate it. This is so much better because inside this one design now, you've got the different sizes that you need.
Yeah, you can actually come from the postcard, hit the three dots, and do the resize right there. So if I want to resize, sometimes you'll take this Facebook post and I'll resize it now to an Instagram view, right? So I want the longer version. So I could go to Instagram, and it used to be you had to go out and, oh, here's a reel. So I could go to real Instagram reel. So now it's going to take that and it's going to convert it to a reel. And now if I double click on that, it's there. I still have to move things around and adjust them, but everything on that page is there and I've got the proper size. But I could still go over here and look at designs. Maybe I want to get a different template. What's really cool is I can come over here now to these templates and these three dots over here. I can click on those three dots and I can tell it just to apply the colors from that template or the text from that template or the elements. So if I just apply the elements, it's not going to change what's on my page, but any elements that are on here, it will be applied to my design. So you can customize this a lot within this page, but you're basically just able to copy and have multiple projects, which is phenomenal. Phenomenal. A couple of
Love
the
that.
other newer updates is the sheets. I mentioned that's kind of like an Excel sheet within Canva. So it's changing bulk create, which has been around quite a bit, is very popular. Photo editing, phenomenal photo editing tools. We're almost already towards the end, so I don't want to get into too much of that advanced stuff, but the branding piece, you guys, as a if you're a small business owner, it doesn't matter what you do, if it's just a little side gig. I have a brand for everything. So I'm going to show you my brands. I have my real estate brand. I have one for RRC because that's an organization I'm currently the Idaho State president of. So I create things for them. I teach a lot at Guild Mortgage, so I use their brand when I'm doing that. Women's Council, I don't use this a lot now, but I used to be very involved in Women's Council. So I can create a design in seconds, brand it there. Here's my teaching. This is my teaching brand. So if I'm teaching a Canva class or I teach a lot of real estate CE classes, this is the colors and the brand that I use as an instructor. And then this is a group of ladies that I work with, and we do some instructing, and there's three of us, and this is our brand kit that we use when we're creating something for the three of us. So you can just switch back and forth between those and just customize these. So simple. I could go to this RRC brand right now, select that brand kit, and this one page within that package, I can change the colors on that just by scrolling through these colors. Oh, I clicked on style, not color, sorry. I want to click on these colors. Why is it applying to all pages? Let's get you up here where I can click on you, right? And so I can just scroll through the colors in that palette until it gets where I want. And then I can apply it to all pages or just this one page. So I can rebrand all of these that quick.
Yep, love it. And I know I want you to be able to talk about, you have an event coming up next month.
Yeah.
On branding and how you can build your business with that. I wanted to be able to offer a way for people to sign up to get information about it.
Yeah. Any questions before I go to that in the
I
chat?
don't see any questions in the chat. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to put them in now based on some of these brand new features that we went over, or something you've been doing and trying and want some feedback on. Feel free to do that. And I guess while I watch the chat, you could tell us a little bit about your May event.
Yeah, so I've got this new event. I haven't even, probably within 2 days I will have the registration link open, but it's not quite ready. So Betsy offered, said, well, you can promote this. So I created a wait list for you guys, and you can get the first to know when the registration opens up. This is a 2-hour Zoom class, and what it is, it's going to be all about setting up your brand. No matter what you do for a living, as a small business owner, we're going to talk about branding your business like a pro. We're going to talk about the brand kit. I'm going to walk you through how to create a brand kit, how to upload your fonts and your logos, and, you know, really create a detailed kit, and then how to use those in designs. We're going to talk about how to design a business card, not only for print, and I'm going to show you how to print those, but I'm going to show you how to create a QR code that is a digital business card that'll automatically add you to people's phones when they scan it. And then we're going to do your email signature, show you how to upload that, how to make sure it's not blurry. If you see people creating email signatures in Canva, they're almost always blurry. And I always email them back and say, hey, I can help you fix that. There's a trick. And then you're going to get a template from me, one template with 5 different designs that we're going to use those in the class. And you'll have those templates then and the recording of the class and a PDF guide to go back and work through all that on your own at home in your own brand. So you're going to watch it all happen, and then you're going to have all the tools at the end of that in order to go back and really learn. Now, you're going to be learning lots of little pieces and tips and tricks in Canva by creating your brand kit, right? You're still going to be introduced. So if you're not real good with Canva yet, this is still going to be a great tool for you because you're going to learn a lot of those little things as we go. And it's only $27. It's a 2-hour Zoom workshop. Betsy's helping sponsor. She's going to be my little Zoom expert in the back for me, so I can just focus on the Canvas stuff. We'd love to have you join us, and I hope to be doing these every month or two. I really want to do one on photo editing. It's phenomenal within Canva, and then also videos. I think the video options are crazy. Even if you're just doing reels, there's reels already created in Canva, and if you can learn how to quickly record yourself and do a video that you can pull into those reels, it's going to be phenomenal. So yeah, there we go. 1 minute early, Betsy.
Awesome. And I just want you to know, while you had the QR code up, I put the link in the comments
Thank
here
you.
below the videos, so that for those who didn't get a chance to scan the QR, we'll also post it in the group too, so that you can get more information on it. I'm excited. Yes, I'm going to be your launch wing woman. I get to be in the Zoom room with you and do what I do best. Let's see. Pamela says, please share how to transfer Canva designs to a website.
Oh, well, I could do that real quick. What I will tell you is you're not transferring them. You're creating a website, what Canva calls a website. Now, this is a landing page is what I call it, but you're just telling Canva right here under the create button, you're saying, I want a website. Okay. And you're going to go in here. This is your website canvas, and you're going to go to templates, and you can start finding a template that works for you. I use this. So here's your templates. I use this a lot for if you're an instructor, for example, I will create a resource page for a class, and I will have little tabs here that take them to a video lesson, or it can take them to a different website. You can link these words. So I can link this word here with the 3 dots, go down and link, and I could put a link, my Facebook page link, any URL in this line. And when I activate this website, it's going to take them there. I come in and I customize this. I tell it to publish website. I go through about 10 steps and it's done. Canva hosts this on Canva is where this is hosted. I'll show you a preview so you see what I'm talking about. Here's what it's going to look like if somebody clicks on the link to it. If I clicked on that word, the team, if I had that linked, it would take them to a certain website, whatever URL I put in there. It even resizes it for a phone. So this is how it would look on a phone. It's completely scrollable. Now, this is not SEO yet. It's not something somebody's going to go out and find you by typing in Tami Sims Real Estate in Boise. They're going to have this link. So that's why I say it's more what I call a landing page, but very effective. Betsy and I are working on one right now. We wanted to give somebody, after an event, we wanted to be able to give them an ebook. Instead of doing a PDF, we did a Canva website. It's got all kinds of links to videos and training tools. And if I make a change to this design, as soon as I republish it, it's updated. Anybody that has that link is going to have the most updated view. So yeah, websites is huge. You could do this for just an event. There could be a QR code or a Google form to click on and
Yeah.
fill out the form. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm even
fabulous tool.
thinking like on social media, especially Instagram, where you want people to get to your links of things that you provide, freebies, lead magnets, and you can't put a link in your post on Instagram. So you have to send them to your bio.
My
And
link tree, a
yeah,
great example, Betsy. Let me show you
yeah,
this. It takes the place of link tree. So when I go to my Facebook page, that's a perfect, yeah, I should have thought to share that. So my Facebook is Tami L. Sims, if you want to find me. And I have a link in my Instagram page, in my Facebook page, in my email signature right here. Here's a link. It's the same link I use everywhere. When you go to that, it's a Canva website, is all it is. I created this page, and this page has a video of me. It's a little slow loading, bio, and here's all my tools. So if you guys wanted right now my relocation guide for Idaho, you could go click on this. When you do, it's going to open up my relocation guide. So that is the power of Canva website. If you open this up on a phone, it's going to be resized all perfectly for a phone. Here's my Canva online course, preparing your photos to sell or your house for your photos. I mean, you can get all my little tools there. You can email me, go to my Facebook page, go to my Instagram page. These are all linked on here. That's the power of the Canva website. I
yeah.
love it. Love it,
That's
love
a
it, love
that is a great place to wrap up too.
it.
I appreciate everyone's comments. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Tammy. We have a
Thanks for
lot of
being here and
great accolades, gratitude in the comments
yeah,
for you. So thank you for participating, everybody. And for those watching back on the replay, this will be in
yeah,
here for 30 days. So you can certainly drop your questions and hopefully I'll be there. We'll see you on May 20th.
yeah. We'll see you branding your business like a pro. It's going to be a great class, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks. Thanks,
awesome. See you
everybody.
later.
Okay, take care now.